What's happening, Davis Bozeman Law Family Community? This is Attorney Maoli Davis. Excited to have with me two expert educators. We are here to empower you through this COVID-19 as you seek to educate your young people. You can be a grandparent, a parent, a caregiver, whatever. I know you're working with these young people. You're learning how difficult it is to teach and what the challenges are. And so we have two experts from Quilombo,
Hey.
Freedom School. They are here. They're going to share. I have Mama Aminata Umoja, the sister Tashia. Mama Aminata is the founder of Quilombo, and her wonderful daughter, my sister in the struggle, Tashia, is the director of Quilombo. Again, a freedom school here in Atlanta, for those of you all that are watching this around the world. Just outstanding work that they do. And we just wanted to help really empower our community and hear directly from these educators. So let's just jump into it. You all do culturally relevant training all over the country.
Yes.
Can you describe what culturally relevant training is so that we can at least give our people some framework about the importance of how we move, why we move, and how we educate our children, in particular children of African descent? Tosh, you want to start?
I will, yes. It's so funny because we have a meeting with Buffalo School Systems tomorrow. So we're continuing the training even now just on these platforms, right? But helping our children see who they are in the context of what they're learning. So whether it's math, science, reading, social studies, our children learning about their history and culture, about their community, while they're learning about these different content areas, which means us as educators studying, now that means for this period, parents studying more about our history and culture, not taking for granted that we think we know everything there is to know. I'm learning new things all the time about our history and culture, but giving our children that, so then when they think of scientists, they don't think of just white guys in lab coats, but they think of people that look like them, and therefore that's something that is attainable for them as they get older and they grow up. Learning about our concepts, our history, our religions, all of those things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wanted to add to that. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mama. I want to ask you this. Yes. So oftentimes, you know, I came really of age in the African-centered education movement. And one of the things that was stressed during the Portland Baseline essays was that we should be able to see ourselves in every subject matter and not just, hey, here's some black history. You know, so Mama Aminata, can you speak to that in terms of the significance of seeing ourselves through these various, not just social studies, not just history, but through every subject?
Yeah, when that happens, the child is affirmed, and he or she is taught by example that African people are about excellence, which actually combats the stereotypes that we see on the media and unfortunately in school curriculums and too often in our religious institutions. So when you show that African people were the parent people of the world, that were scientists and writers and speakers and teachers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We've done everything. Then it affirms for the child. You know, children learn most by not what we tell them, but by what we do and what they experience. So really quickly, if you don't mind, there are a couple of websites that the children could go to or their parents could go to.
Yes.
I have to say we have the crclassroom.com, which talks about what Tashia was mentioning in terms of the culturally relevant classroom. But there's some websites specifically for children that parents might really enjoy going to. One is Ubongo, UBONGO Kids. Another is Bino and Fino, BINO, FINO, and Akili and Me, AKILI and Me. One of the best ways to teach culturally relevant lessons is through literature. And this is a wonderful time for parents to read to their children, have their children read to them, and discuss what's going on. Watch TV shows, Black shows, and talk about what happened in the shows. You know, Tashia's children obviously are my grandchildren. And I think that they are so intellectually ready. And I think that a large part of that is because they are constantly around conversations. So it's critical that parents talk to their children, ask their opinions. Don't just try to push their opinions on them, but actually ask your children what they're thinking about, because they start thinking really, really early. And we want them to exercise that thinking muscle.
And I want to just really quickly, with Quilombo, you all are a brick and mortar school
Yes.
on normal circumstances. However, with COVID-19, you have had to shift how you teach. Can you just give a very brief example of what that shift has been for Quilombo, for the parents, the teachers, and the students?
Yeah, so fortunately, we were already working on an online platform just for homework, right? So we were using Google Classroom to post homework assignments and things of that nature. So we just kind of made the shift. And so one of the things that Quilombo is really big on is differentiating reading instruction. We're really, really big on being culturally relevant and teaching our history and culture, but also on pedagogy, the art and the science of teaching. And so then the best way to teach reading and math and these subjects is to make sure you meet the children where they are. So we don't just kind of have a one-size-fits-all lesson where we are all reading out of the same book or we're all doing the same math assignment. And so we teach in small groups. And so that's kind of how we shifted to online, which also makes sure that our children don't get more than 2 hours of screen time a day, because that can be really, really bad and unhealthy when they're being too sedentary, when too much screen time has been linked to depression in children. It's been linked to obesity, behavior problems, all kinds of different things. And so we have 30-minute reading groups and 30-minute math groups, and then our children are given assignments, right? So then they have their textbooks and they get their assignments, but they get smaller group sessions with their science and their math and their reading teachers. So for my daughter, my youngest daughter, I have 5 beautiful children, but for my youngest daughter, who's 4, she actually gets a 15-minute one-on-one session with her teacher because she's younger. And so instead of expecting for her to be in class with the teacher, because the situation is just different. The conditions are not the same. She gets a 15-minute one-on-one session with her teacher outside of her morning calendar time, and we still have our songs, and we still start every day with our prayer, libation, and affirmation, because that is a part of what makes us culturally relevant, right? Every day giving thanks to our ancestors, pouring libation, affirming that we are African and we are divine. And so those are some of the things that we've been able to do. And then finding a lot more assignments that can just be online. So online presentations, PowerPoints. Fortunately, Google has its own suite, so we can use Google Slides, so our children can do little presentations and work like that.
Sure.
And then we're using more online assignments. So we always did Khan Academy for homework, and now we're including it more into just our regular class work, that kind of thing. But I guess we'll get more into
all
those.
right.
Yeah.
Well, we got about 2 minutes left. We want to just jump in and for you all to give really quickly to our to our listeners, to everyone that's viewing this, some quick tips as for parents in terms of juggling work and trying to make sure that they are ready and able to really do what needs to be done to support their children. So if you all could give some tips, and then we'll close out with how people can get in contact with you, because you mentioned your website,
that's the culturally relevant classroom, crclassroom.com. Our website is quilomboschool.com. quilomboschool.com.
KILOMBO.
School.com.
And I want them to have both.
Yes, absolutely. Tashia mentioned earlier a ritual. And so we suggest that you set a schedule with your children, or else Africans will think they're on vacation.
Right.
So you have to actually set a schedule. And the schedule needs to begin with a ritual, whatever works in your family. It could be a prayer, it could be libation, it could be song. But you want to start with that. And then you want to make sure that your attitude is real super positive, because this is a gift. I mean, it is a horrible thing that's going on in the world. It is worldwide and it's horrific. It's also an opportunity to really connect with your children and love them and let them see that you are excited to be with them, right? That you're excited to spend time with them. So have lots of conversation, read to them, let them read to you, you know, make sure you have a school time and a play time. So they know, okay, it's important for me to, you know, do my work now. My parents are expecting me to do my work. And then I want to tell you about San Diego Quick Assessment. It is online. San Diego Quick Assessment. It will let you know where your child is reading. It's online, it's free. All you got to do is download it. If the children miss too many words on a column, that means you're not reading on that level. 70% of the children in Atlanta do not read on grade level. Take this as an opportunity to help catch your children up by pairing them with the right grade level. You can get lots of materials from Raz Kids. That's what we use, Raz Kids. Even if you only do it for the trial period, it's probably about a month, right? That's gonna help you, and you can download stuff from that.
Right.
Yeah, you have any other tips, Tom?
All right.
Yeah, I would also like to add just Googling Black professionals in the areas of science and math particularly, right? Like once a week, Google a Black scientist, a Black mathematician. You know, if your children are working on life science, they can look at, you know, Black paleontologists or Black entomologists, so that they change what they see as Black professionals. So take that time once a week, find a new Black scientist from the past, from the present, you know, new Black scientists and mathematicians. Google Black science and mathematicians.
Quilombo also has 3 slots available. So our classrooms are very small, right? But we will take 3 online students, grades 1 through 5. Because 6, 7, and 8 is reading Malcolm X, and they're already, you know, like a third into
they're too advanced.
Yeah,
they're too advanced. They're gone. They're gone. Well, listen, thank you all. My mama, my sister, we appreciate you all. And for those of you all who are watching, Quilombo is one of our freedom schools that we support. And when we say we support, we contribute financially. We come over and judge science fairs. My law partner, Rob Bozeman, is always engaged. Why? Because we know the importance of education. We would not have this law firm if it were not for educators who loved, cared, and nurtured us into believing in ourselves and allowing us to imagine a world where 2 brothers, one from the south side of Atlanta and one from the south side of Chicago, could come together and build a firm and have 20 people, 20 families who rely on this firm. And so we thank you all. Thank you, Mama. Thank you,
Maoli.
Thank you, Board Chair.
Keep doing what you all are doing. And folks will, and I am very honored to be the chair of the board of Quilombo. So this information, we just knew that would be empowering, and we were just excited to bring these 2 great educators to you so that you know the tradition of education continues, the tradition of those who might walk off of a plantation many, many miles so that they could go learn in a boxcar.
That's it.
Yes.
That kind of energy is still here, that there would be educators who are so impassioned that they are ready to receive even new students. So thank y'all. We look forward. Everybody stay safe, build your immune systems, and definitely connect with your family, your children, and let's educate for liberation. Peace, y'all.